If we look at it from the perspective of James, we probably know why James is going to play a player worth $52.6 million next year. Since you're not human, don't blame me for not being easy. As the first person in the league, I'm 41 years old, but I can still make 24.4 points in the field, 7.8 in the basket, and 8.2 in the ball. The head-to-ball hit rate is 51%, and the three-point hit rate is 37%. And it was my alliance that made the Who people go through the most difficult times. I worked hard for 7 years to raise the team's market value from $3.3 billion in 2018 to $1.1 billion in the present. The team's ticket revenue has also increased by 3 times, and the ticket price of me and my father-in-law Bronny was directly fried to 5,000 yuan. However, Li Qibao Luo told me that we did not get the invitation from the Who people to make a new contract, and the team changed to a new boss. They actually only told Dong Qiqi that it was not that they were still calling people Xiao Xianshan, and now they are the real evil trick of Mrs. Niu. I felt their extreme disrespect to me. Is that how they treat the old general? And I know that I should be retired when I'm old. Didn't they see that since Dong Qiqi came, I had chosen to play Wuqiu? I admire Dong Qiqi, this young man. He is very comprehensive and very capable. I have never achieved the Super 3 achievements of 60 plus 21 in a single field. And I am also willing to assist people to help Dong Qiqi. So I told Dongzi, you don't make any changes when you come to the Who people because he makes me see my young self, and I make these changes. The Who people seem to have not seen it yet. You all say that I am 41 years old, and I still have 50 million new gold space. I will ask you if I jump out of the contract and go to the free market. There will be a lot of teams in the 40 million year heart to grab the medicine. You don't see that Ha Dinghai has signed 8,100 million in 2 years. Owen has also continued to make 1.2 billion in 3 years. This is only 10 million less than my 50 million year old heart. Shouldn't it be 10 million more in the Who people? You don't even know how much wealth I have brought to the Who people. Some people even say that Bronny has a 2 million year old heart. I had 3 million before, and I believe that even if I choose another team, the team will definitely sign Bronny without any complaints, so I choose to perform the next year's player selection. And this may also be my last year in the Who people. The Who people must also have their own plans. That is, they want me to retire after a year. Because of this, my retirement tour can also be held in the Who people. More importantly, the next year's All-Star game is in Los Angeles. And this is my 23rd season. A superstar wearing the 23rd ball in his 23rd season retirement is also a good thing. But I want to say that since the team can't use me as the core, so I'm going to pursue a general champion, and add another general champion, and I'm going to be able to beat Kirby and Duncan, and I'm going to be able to increase my history records. That's why I had the opportunity to compete with that Luda to get enough position. And that's why I let Richie Paul let go of the wind. And I'm going to fight for the general champion. And that's why I forced Parinka to take down Aiden. If you want to mess up and force me to retire, if you don't have a good record next year, I can still choose to trade to the championship team, and I'll give you an assumption. I'm going to be a free player by the end of next year's contract, and I'm going to be down to 30 million, and I'm going to be able to go back to Cleveland and do a retirement tour. At the moment when Lei Tang won the championship, I knew there was no team that would push one for me. And there was no team that could make a statue for me. If from the perspective of Durant, how would you look at his multiple choices? Maybe my natural second was destined from the moment of selection. Even if I had to choose 100 times in 2007, that hit was still out of the light. Even if I had the most comprehensive physical measurement data. However, it is difficult to cover the embarrassment of pushing 0 times with 83 kilograms. And my popularity is even lower than that of number 6 Xiu Yijianlian. In the 9 years of Lei Tang, I gradually grew. I won 4 wins in a row, a regular MVP, and even led Lei Tang to the semi-final in the 3-shot Magic. In that year, we won the championship in a row in the postseason, the little cow, the tiger and the horse. I once thought that when we were going to win the championship, we were going to defeat the more experienced Hot 3 giants. And from then on, James was at the top, and I was always the 1,000-year-old second. I don't think I'm any worse than him. I can easily crush him on the scoreboard. I have a long way to go with him, but the media says I don't have the leadership spirit. I can never be the front of the alliance. As we lost Harden, I really started to envy James' hot 2-point game. So in 2016, I made a decision that I still don't know if it's right or wrong. They said I was in the group and I admitted it. Didn't Old John and Wiederboshan start a top-of-the-line group? If Old John didn't join the group, I would have won the championship in Latang. They said I was the enemy and I didn't agree. I asked you who was the enemy and who was the ally. Isn't it all about winning the championship? Later, many teams also proved that the group may not be able to win the championship. Waterflower Brothers and I are definitely strong enough, so we won 2 championships in a row and I also won 2 FNVP. This is also the most important moment in my career. Some people say I stole the coolie. But you don't know that I gave him the ball in 2018, but none of the key balls were thrown in. However, the good news is that I was scolded by Green when I said that they were the champions before I came. I was angry. It's not because of Green's stinky mouth, but because there's no one in the whole team who can tell me the truth. Even if it's their so-called time-honored citizen brother. His silence really made me cry and cry. Instead, I thanked Green for letting me know that I was in the real position of a warrior, and that I didn't get any recognition for a single kick. It's such a sad thing. Later I switched to the blue net, because the boss promised. Even if it's a year of recovery, I can still get a new one. I am very grateful. Blue net team wants to return to the club mode. Owen and Harden also joined hands in 2021, and I think we should be the champion. Owen's corner accident destroyed everything. Since the club mode has been opened, fortunately, I got some more glory. So after the blue net couldn't win, I applied for a deal with the Sun because the Sun entered the finals under the leadership of Paul Edmond and Book in the previous year. However, things are not as simple as we thought. In 2023, we lost to the champion in the second round of the postseason 2-4, and the team thought Paul was too old. So Paul was replaced by Bill. The first round of the 2024 postseason was swept away by the Forest Wolf. This year we have no chance to play in the postseason. I really don't understand why the results are 1 year worse than 1 year. I don't care. In fact, you don't know that my heart is bleeding every time I lose my strength. This time I am in the spirit of courage to join the Rocket, and the team has done the best possible job. I don't want to be the second in 1,000 years. I believe I still have the strength to win. I don't care what you say because my name is Durant.